Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. What's in your news? Six lose all to a blaze, and only the dog was saved. But that's not really true because the six people who lived in that particular dwelling, they're all saved. And the lady who was in church when she was called out and they told her her house had burned, she wasn't even bothered. She was not worried at all. She talks about God and God has her. And let's hope that whatever she says that God has for her comes true. Let's hope that. A plea from emergency responders. You would think that Barbadians would stop when they hear the sirens. You would think that they would stop. And what happened, that huge accident that happened last week, could have been avoided, but maybe not. Maybe they're listening to the music and they're too much into whatever else is going on their phones, whatever. But you need to pay attention when you're on the road. What's in your news? Teenage girls found. Excuse me, what I'm hearing is they gave themselves up because one was saying that she was having a birthday and she'd rather spend it at Somerville girls' homes, girls' home, instead of with her mom. That is what I read on Instagram. May not be true, but I read that she said she was going to turn herself over to the racetrack. The onus is on youth to do what is right. That's what this minister, is it Wilfred Abrams? Let me open it up. Yeah, I don't recognize the name. What is his name? But he is saying, he's talking to parents and he is saying that children, the onus is on youth to do what is right. And you would think that they would have his name. Oh, it's Corey Lane. Oh, that joke. Yes, Corey Lane. Yeah, let's move on. What's in your news? Courts are closed today. Today's Monday, May 8th. Let's go on. Woman wants B, L, and P, the Barbados line and power, to cut down a tree. Let me see if they gave her name. She's in Boscobel, St. Andrew, and Wanda Sandiford is her name. She wants the light people to cut down a tree. The central bank's cyber guide, I don't know what that is, but I don't know if you'll be interested in it, but that's what's in your news. It's a good year for merchant banks. Banks are making money, fist over fist. They're making money. So it means that whatever fees they are charging you is a bit high, okay? The premiums on insurance and the fees at the banks, you need to look at that. Barbados's trade with the UK is rising. Well, good for them. Race talk must be heard. This is some guy, a professor in Barbados, and he was talking, Professor Miller of the University of Miami. He delivered a speech at the Cultural Studies, hopefully, I think it's in Barbados. What I'm reading from, I have to open it up to see it because it's really small, but I'm giving you the gist of what's in your news. Search for summer lift. They're looking for people to come to Barbados. The tourism board, they're looking for cheap fares. They're looking for ways to get people on the island because since the winter season is over, they're seeing that the prices of plane tickets are so high that may be a bad thing for Barbados. Road to healthy school menu, a bumpy one. Okay, so people in Barbados like to drink sweet drinks and they like to eat a lot of bread and cheese. So the healthy menu, it's going to be a bumpy one. Press should engage public more. They're saying that the media in Barbados should engage the public more. But then again, you cannot trust everything and everyone, and a lot of people in Barbados feel that things that they tell to the press in Barbados could get to the racetrack, and yeah, that has happened. There's a question: have they forgotten environmental goals? That's what there's a article here asking you about the environment and the goals, and what's going on in Barbados with development and that kind of stuff. And another letters to editor. Learn to cut and contrive. I guess that's austerity measures again. I don't know, but don't be fooled by interest rates. That's in the finance section of what's in your news. How interest rates can mislead. So be careful with what you see and hear, how you take it in. It could be misleading. Traffic mirror in place thanks to community activists. And this is in St. Philip. This guy, Delmore Harrison, he's a resident of St. Philip and Harlington, St. Philip, and he erected a mirror, a traffic mirror, so people could see like blind spots. You can see around the corner with the mirror going on. What's in your news? Preacher, don't let go of the cross. The preachers are in the paper. It was replete. Your paper today was saturated with these people preaching and telling you to come back to the church. They must be hurting because you're not going into the church, you're not paying your tithe and your offerings, and they are hurting. And it is obvious, it's apparent, because like I said, when I go through your news, it's all over. The mission, Maxwell's mission, and his mission, a remedy must be found to bring people back into the church. How is that going to happen? How they see what happens, then they see what happened, they know what happened. These people cannot be fooled. And people don't want to be fooled. They know what is happening in the church. They know people are still having babies outside of wedlock. They know what's happening. So just sit down. Again, keep the faith. It's replete all throughout your newspaper vaccination schedule. I guess they're still doing that. Then, although the pandemic is over, crop over registrations closing soon. If you're part of the crop over thingy, make sure you do whatever you need to do, because registrations are closing soon. Going through stable financial system, you have Kevin Greenidge. He is the central bank governor. He is saying that the system there in Barbados is stable. So you believe him if you want. Mia Motley is saying small countries want better trade deals. That's it. Going through. Dr. Yearwood, high levels of borrowing, not good for the country. Let me make a thing of that. Yeah, that's what your Dr. Yearwood is in your news, saying that borrowing, high levels of borrowing, it's not good for the country. These are things that are known. Dr. World is here again. Price of commodities dependent on varied factors and circumstances. This is in your financial part of your news. And students were impressed by bank representatives and the advice they got from the banks, or the representatives from the banks. Yeah, do not trust a bank. Do not trust the banks in the islands, okay? Banks representatives were very helpful, okay? So, yeah, that's about what's in your news. I've been through it. I've told you what is in there. If you are interested, you can always pick up the paper, I guess. Personal income tax filing season ends. I think I've seen that in your paper already. This part was in The Advocate. The Advocate always seems to be 2 days behind. So, yeah, career help offered. Where is this? This is in The Advocate. And I missed the spot. I was trying to enlarge it and I missed that particular spot. But here we go again. Let me tell you where it is. Okay, just the CIBC, First Caribbean. The banks seem to be trying to get young people on board. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's what's in your news, okay? So that's it. It's your Veronica.